from Barack will not last as long as the Anthony Wayne Clay game last night. They went to 5 overtimes. And by the way, we ain't counting on any recounts. We ain't counting on any overtimes. Ohio's got to make sure there is no overtimes this time. Because until Barack Obama puts some real people on the Supreme Court, we can't count on it being fair. So, folks, look, look, Toledo has been a proud city. Full of I'm being very serious about it, very proud people. All of you assembled here on this library roof. The truth of the matter is you've seen some really great times in this city. But now you're seeing what I saw being raised in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claymont, Delaware, where I went to grade school and high school. You're seeing a little piece of what we saw, and a little bigger piece we're going to try to stop. I was raised in Scranton, where after I was born in the middle of World War II, and my dad, like an awful lot of dads across America, had to leave the town he loved to move away to find a job, because there were no jobs. Got down to Claymont, Delaware, which is a little steel town outside of Wilmington, Delaware. When I was growing up, it was thriving. Well, guess what? It went under. Chinese bought it. And all those thousands of folks that I grew up with, their parents lost their jobs, and they lost what they thought was their future. But the interesting thing, it seems to me, is that one of the things Barack and I share in common, as I said, I was raised by a dad who had to leave and go find work. Barack was raised by a single mom who worked, went to school, and on occasion during that period, just to make it, had to accept food stamps. But we come from the same kind of stock you all come from. We come from the stock where we're taught by our parents. We're taught by my dad and mom, and Barack by his mom and his grandparents, that the fact of the matter is that it doesn't matter whether you get knocked down. My dad had an expression, it used to be, everybody, the measure of success is not whether you get knocked down. It's how quickly you get up. It's how quickly you get up. And folks, it's not just political talk for me to say. The truth of the matter is the reason Barack is running for President of the United States, and why I was flattered to accept his offer to run with him, is because we believe our job is first and foremost, no malarkey, is to help America get back up.
All right.
So folks, look, the fact of the matter is that this administration, I've never seen a time when so many people in America have been knocked down, and their government has done so little to help them get back up. The fact is that, you in Toledo are already figuring out your future. You may have lost Electric Auto Light. You may have lost Champion Spark Plug. But what you're doing is you're looking to take this city that was famous for being able to spin glass and make glass, and you're talking about doing something else now. You're talking about you're looking to the future. It doesn't supply all the jobs, but First Solar's doubling their employment.
Yeah. All right.
You got a governor, you got a mayor, you got all of you who, instead of just doing what a lot of people have done in other places, in other countries, is when they get knocked down, staying down, you're getting back up. And so from our perspective, the whole deal is, how does the government help you get back up without getting in the way? And there's a gigantic difference between John McCain and Barack Obama, and between me and, I suspect, my vice presidential opponent. And that is that, well, there's obvious differences. She's good looking. There's obvious differences, but there's a whole lot of, but all, where's that person? Who said that? Who said that? Would you say that again for my wife?
You are gorgeous.
Oh, I tell you what. Would you make sure Jill hears that? You know what I mean? I just want to make sure she hears that. I haven't heard that in a long time. And hanging around with this lean, young-looking guy is making me feel pretty old. You know what I mean? I thought I was in pretty good shape till I hung out with this guy. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's not looking good, all right. I tell you what. But look, folks, let me end with on a serious note here. On a serious note, I was a pretty good football player, man. We're going to talk a little bit after this, okay? But look, on a very serious note, it's not just that that Barack and I and John McCain, his running mate, have a fundamental difference on how to give a helping hand to the middle class. You know, if there's anything we're going to do for the middle class that could change your circumstance, it's to deal with making sure you can help pay for your kids' education, make sure you can maintain your health care. If you don't have it, get it. If you have it, be able to keep it. That's a giant cost. These costs have gone up 72, 75, 80%. Energy costs. But let me just give one example before I turn the mic over to the guy who's going to really lead this country. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take the example of what you're trying to do to get back up on your feet in this city in terms of moving to solar energy. John McCain looks to the past. And I mean that's not a criticism, it's an observation that's real. Think about it this way. Let's look at the future. You know there's no possibility of us getting America back on track unless we gain control of our energy costs, our energy freedom, and alternative energy. What's John McCain do? John McCain proposes $200 billion in tax cuts for corporate America. John McCain talks about, after the oil companies have made $600 billion in profit just since 2000, he thinks ExxonMobil and their friends need another $4 billion investment tax credit. No, this is really fundamental. And at the same time, John McCain in the United States Senate with Barack and me voted against all those efforts for alternative energy, the very thing that's going to rebuild your city in part. And so what's Barack talking about? Barack has a tax proposal going to cut 95%. This is not hyperbole. No time in the sun to explain the detail. 95% of Americans are going to get a tax cut. John McCain's proposal, he leaves out 100 million American families without a single red cent. Barack Obama is going to give 95% of the American people a tax cut. But beyond that, let's talk about how he looks to the future. Barack's going to invest, our administration is going to invest over 10 years, $150 billion in alternative energy. What does that mean? That means high-paying jobs right here. It will create 5 million new jobs. As Brock likes to say, made in the USA. Here in Toledo, you created another 358 jobs at the new solar facility. Well, guess what? There have been worldwide so far created, just since we started to figure out the energy crisis, over 2,400,000 jobs. But only 10% of them have been created in the United States of America. It's our technology. Why? They should be created in Toledo. They should be created in Scranton. They should be created across the country. So, folks, there's a lot to say. I've said too much, and Barack can say it much better. But the bottom line is this. The middle class built America. Yes. We have one overriding responsibility as we see it. To rebuild the middle class. Give you a fighting chance. And that starts with a decent job, decent health care, the ability to educate your children, be able to heat your home, and be able to drive automobiles that are energy efficient. That's what we're going to do. Ladies and gentlemen, it's America's time. It's my time, it's Barack's time, it's time for the next President of the United States of America.